They say that genetics is 10% responsible, and then epigenetics
What's
is
that mean?
90%. So epigenetics is everything to do with your environment, your food, your mental attitude, your friendship circle, kind of like, the people you surround yourself with, your habits. So that's like that's the trigger. The genetics is the framework of the gun.
What's the different type of body type? You get a
Ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph.
What's what?
So ectomorph is what I would be, which is like slim.
You're naturally slim.
Yeah.
So did you, when you were starting to work out, did you find it hard to put muscle on?
Yeah.
So that was the hard thing for you. And then an exomorph is what? Stocky?
No,
you're an exomorph.
It's meso and endo right now because I'm slightly hungover. I can't remember which is which, but one is sort of more, muscle bound, and the other one is like just thicker and fatter.
Right. The thicker and fatter one? He's obviously not going to be able to hold muscle like the muscle bound one, yeah. But is he easier to hold muscle than your build?
Yeah, I mean, these are just generalizations of stereotypes of bodies that people have kind of had to put into 3 different categories. Ultimately, it's much more complicated than that. But then it can be, to contradict myself, it can be simplistic. Like, if you're in a calorie deficit, then you will lose weight. But that is only achieved through moving enough and eating enough to perform your body, to allow your body to perform its tasks.
So you've just got to eat under what a regular person would eat during the day. So that don't seem like rocket science, does it? That seems pretty fucking...
It's about the right amount of proteins and the right amount of carbohydrates. It's the timing of the food, and then it's kind of, the quality of the food. A lot of people eat so much processed food, they're like dead calories, so it's not giving you anything.
Right. But I've seen you come in and fucking eat fucking load of shit. You'll come in.
Whoa! I didn't know it was going to be a hit piece.
No, but you come in. You eat. What's it called? What's that like bagel you eat? You ate a steak of that salt beef bagel stack. Looks the governor. If I ate that, I'd be in trouble. You like knock it away. You're like sweet.
Yeah, but my daily output of calories.
What do you reckon you knock out a day in calories?
I mean, it depends, but there are days sometimes where I'm taking like 3,500 of active calories.
In?
Like no, as in
You're
burning 3,000 calories because I'm sat on a bike for 2 hours, then I'm doing a run, and then I've had my commute, and then also you have your daily. I can't even remember what it's called.
Like your normal day of what's it?
Yeah, your God, my brain is fried.
Well, this is the move, right? Because you're able to be fucking skinny. Well, we're not skinny, ripped to fuck, and fucking and go out on the piss, which is the hardest trade-off for everyone else. You're just able to do it.
Yeah.
Is that just down to genetics as well?
No, it's just down to like years and years and years of like doing the hard thing the day after I don't want to. So when most people are sat there hungover on a couch,
right,
I'm out there going, I'm not having this.
You're just doing it.
And I'm doing it, getting on with it.
But it's the worst thing in the world.
It starts off being the worst thing in the world, and then you finish, you go, thank God.
The weird thing is, right, when I was younger, I could easily go out on the piss Friday and Saturday and then play football on a Sunday. And you probably are not giving your best account of yourself, but you are playing football and you're getting through it, even with the stinkiest hangover, heading a ball, and you're like, oh my God. I've had times when you go and you're sick during the game because you're so hungover, but you're still playing. But I could not even get myself up off the couch on a Sunday to entertain going and doing it. I don't think. Well, I mean, I haven't tried.
Yeah, when you're a young man, you can get away with a lot, right? You've got vitality literally coursing through your brains. You can fuck all night. You can do whatever you need to be, doing. I remember going out on a Friday in Barcelona, having played a game, not coming back till Saturday, playing another game, going out again, coming back and then playing in a five-a-side comp Sunday night, and then going to work Monday.
Right, so, but you can't. You couldn't possibly do that now. So you
not to any level of quality. Back then, I was decent and I was fit and I could kind of manage it, and I would drink. I would just stick to beers, but then I started smoking a bit of weed when I lived in Barcelona as well, and I'd manage it like that. Did
that help or hurt the fitness?
It helped the hangovers. It didn't help the fitness, so I had to pack it in.
So where have you been that you are now not able to do that? So you can fully see it, the fact that you've got a little bit older, but you strike me as someone who can just carry on and just do it anyway. if you needed to.
Yeah, like my body type won't change much. I'll be able to gain more muscle into my 50s, even into my 60s if I just look after myself and do the basics. I know how much protein I need a day. I know how many carbs I kind of roughly allow myself. I eat as much clean food as I can. It's like 80-20 rule. The 20%, yeah, you can get away with. Like sometimes, like sugar is demonized, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, sugar's terrible for you. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Don't eat that. I'm telling you, if I'm doing 2 workouts in a day, and maybe they're 2 easy workouts, maybe one is like a half-hour run in the morning, half an hour, 30 minutes, zone 2. Later on, I'm going to bang out some weights. I'm going to squat, I'm going to bench. I'm going to do some like intervals on the ski or the row. In between, if I have a can of Coke and an apple pie from McDonald's, no problem. I'm ready to go again. Like it's just sometimes you need to like pour gas on the fire.
But that's because you're in shape you are. If I fucking went and done that, it would be a setback, wouldn't it? Because I would have to be able to lose the weight first before I can go and crack on. So I couldn't say, oh, do you know what? Because I went for a run this morning. I run most mornings, but I can never lose my derby. So I'm going to the gym, I'm running, but I've put on half a stone in over the weekend, which is
it's impressive.
Fuck it. I mean,
there'd be a lot of water weight there.
Yeah, like and then by Friday again, it will come off. And then I'll probably I'll cross our fingers, England get to the World Cup final, I'll put it back on. That'll be worth it. That'd be worth it. Because my thing is, if I've got good things to do, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to go and do whatever I've got to do.
Well, because I do like a mixture of like running and weights, and ergs, a lot of cycling, a lot of endurance sports. Like I've done Ironmans, multiple Hyroxes in a day. I've done long distance swimming. Done mountain races. I've done silly stuff in my life. Like I've looked at something on that looks hard. I'm going to do that, and I've figured out how to do it along the way. So part of that is understanding that sport and exercise is an eating competition. As long as you fuel it, you can kind of keep going at a moderate pace. So like Ironman, for example, you have to swim 3.8 kilometers.
Right.
Okay. Then you have to cycle 112 miles or 180 kilometers. And then you have to run a marathon, 26.2.
Fuck that. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And I had 5 weeks notice to do it on. I'd never swam more than 50 meters before. I'd never been clipped into a road bike before. But my mate challenged me on my 40th birthday. He's like, what are you going to do? You're 40th, you've got to do something big. And I'm thinking like, I want to go lay on a beach, mate. But he called me out and he's like, no. And you need to make it memorable. So he's like, we're doing this Ironman in Copenhagen. It's the middle of August. It was literally 3 weeks after my birthday in June 10th. So we're talking late June. I'm like, bloody hell, that's not long. Basically got July to train for it. So straight away, I was up to the pool in Holborn. I don't know if you know, there's an outdoor swimming pool. It's 25 meters.
Right.
Banging out some lengths in there, and I was hanging onto the side every 4 lengths going.
Was you fucked?
Yeah.
To start off with? Because swimming and just being fit is 2 different things, isn't it?
Terrible technique, terrible breath, coordination, awful. It was a nightmare. And then, I guess...
when you thought about it, was that you thought that was going to be the hardest part?
That was the scariest bit, because I went and actually sought out a friend who is a decent triathlete, and she gave me some tips and stuff, and, that was helpful. But after a couple of weeks, I spoke to my mate Ray that used to be a GB swimmer.
Right.
And he's like, how's the swimming going? And I was like, yeah, I'm up to 500 meters in a session. He's like, yeah, mate, you need to get outdoors in open water, because you need to be clicking out sets of 500 meters and sets of kilometers if you're going to make that through. So I was like thinking, yeah, he's right. So I went to the Tottenham Reservoir.
So hold on a minute. So you've done 2 weeks of training in the pool?
Yeah, probably 4 sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then went to try and do it outdoors?
Yeah.
And how did on your first
Started
day?
off, I did they've got like a 300, 600 and 750 loop.
Right.
And I was like, right, I'll do a couple of 300s back to back. Okay, I feel all right. Yeah, do another one. Okay, if I'm lazy with my arms and let my arms hit the water rather than kind of sort of trying to be too perfect with my technique, my shoulders don't hurt. If I just turn my head every 3rd stroke, I can only turn my head that way. I would never turn my head the other way.
Right.
It was just like, right, that works. Okay, keep that going.
Yeah.
Just flick the legs. Be lazy with it. Don't try to do too much.
So that was the point of being that was how you was able to get through longer distances.
Yeah. And then wetsuit is like a huge buoyancy factor. So it does lift you up out of the water.
Right.
So your body's not dragging. When you're just doing it in your boardies, like it's harder to keep your core central. Right. In a wetsuit, the panels in the wetsuit, they're rubber, so it helps, it floats a little bit.
Right.
So it is a little bit easier. Don't get me wrong, you still got to swim the 3.8K in open water with a bunch of people kicking and scratching you and swimming over you, and you got to keep your eyes on the turns when the boys are, and you got to keep your eyes on the prize. And it's terrifying. It's very nerve-wracking starting it. But before all that, I've still got to bang in sessions on the bike and run. I was quite lucky because I've been a London cyclist, like commuter, for 15 years, 10, 15K a day on a single speed. And I race people on a bike. So I've always been like, right, I know how to pedal hard on a bike for 15, 20 minutes, lots of interval training. I can just go slower for longer. So my girlfriend Lisa was like, right, we're cycling down to Brighton then, you better start fucking, putting some distance on this. So I rented a bike, clipped in, shot off down to Brighton, 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, got there by like 11 o'clock, got the train home, and I was like, right, we're going to do that once a week, plus the swims, and I've got to fit in a couple of run sessions.
Yeah, but if you've got to do all this all back to back, it's like...
But you learn on the way that like, okay, I'm tired, like my eyes are fucking blinking, my shoulders feel heavy on the bike, like I need food. And you realise that like gels and Haribo spikes you up, but you come down pretty quick as well. Whereas if you kind of eat a mixture on the bike, on my Ironman, I actually had cheese, pickle sandwiches.
Right.
You got the fats from the cheese, you got the salt from the pickle, and you got the carbs from the bread, which is slow GI release energy.
Right.
So I was about 80, 90K in. I was a bit fucked. And I had some flapjacks, I had like a Snickers bar, and I had some gels, and I had my hydration, I've got my caffeine. Your bike is like a rolling buffet on wheels, right? And you're constantly dipping into this bag to kind of keep your energy up. And all of a sudden I was like, right, it's time for fucking some proper food. I had that, and all of a sudden I was like, the legs just started channeling. I just started eating people like Pac-Man on this road.
Right.
Just going past people. Like, I've got my energy back. You get like a second wind where you're like...
So was everyone else not doing exactly the same thing though?
Well, everyone just times it differently. Like, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know how I was going to feel. I just know that if you give me... Like, I like cycling. I'm constantly having to stop, red lights, vans are trying to kill me, I've got other cyclists, I've got Deliveroo people, I've got e-bikes flying down. It's a nightmare cycling in London. So if you give me 112 miles of open roads, no traffic, green lights, and a super bike, that's just fun. I'm just like, right, let's fucking go. So you're in this position where you're like in the TT bars,
you're like totally locked in.
You're totally locked in. So it's just...
So did you do that in one sitting then, the 108, whatever it is, 118, 112
5 hours 40.
Right.
Which is pretty good for the first time. Like a professional triathlete will bang that out in like 3.5.
Right, but you've done swimming that you're not a swimmer. Then
got my 50-meter badge.
Then you've done a triathlete. The bike part of it, whatever 112 miles, and then now you've got to do after that. Then you've got to run the marathon.
Yeah.
Now that's
changing in between is a nightmare because you sort of like.
Did you not get like double fucking sort of like crutch and fucking ring sting and everything?
Lube. Lots of lube.
Right.
Yeah, you need that.
So then once you get off the bike and you've done that, you're ready to go.
Endurance
you've got to eat another. You've got to eat another meal then before you run.
Yeah, in your transition, there's normally something in there.
But everyone's running to the next part.
Yeah, there's like a transition area. So T1 and T2. You come out the swim and you get these bags and you're peeling off your wetsuit, and then you put, underneath that you've normally got your tri-suit.
Right.
So it's just peeling off the wetsuit, clipping the shoes, stuff everything in a bag, hook it on the peg, run off to your bike where you've put your helmet and everything's already on your bike, and then you have to run it out the transition.
So they don't stop the time for you to get from one to the other. You've all of that's a fucking race as well.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get to do this. But you surely cannot, after you've done a swim, after you've ridden the bike, I would 100% know about having ring sting at this point, right? So you've got a sore ass.
Yeah.
You've now got to run 26 miles.
Yeah.
Right?
11K just under laps around Copenhagen's like city centre.
So what about you? What are you doing it in? Shorts?
You're doing it in a tri-suit, so it's like what you cycle in.
Right, you've got to run it in the same thing that you've been sweating in for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, you're in trouble though, aren't you? Surely that's awful.
Relube.
Surely that sounds horrendous.
I mean, you can get like, if you have to train in it a little bit to know what to expect, so you know where to like lube yourself up. But yeah, the backs of your hamstrings, your gooch, behind your bollocks, and
everything's
like nipples,
your cut. They're cut. Are they cut?
No, they were fine. But I've had that before. I had that before in a half marathon. It was hot. I didn't lube up.
I regularly get cut nipple. I've got big tits, but I regularly get cut nipples when I'm running over an hour.
Yeah,
like if you don't do over an hour, you're sweating 3 or 4 days. You're in trouble.
You got to hydrate up, replace the salts, and then you also need to put on enough lube.
Oh, mate.
I know it's not glamorous, mate.
So you've done that. Did you find you lost a lot of weight when you'd done that though?
Yeah,
that's like
I didn't. Yeah. You don't feel strong.
How many calories had you? You must have
5,700 that day.
What, you lost 5,000?
No, as in like burned. That's what the watch said. I
mean, you must have done more than that. If normal people walk around doing 2.5.
Do you want me to pull it up on my phone? Can I get it out?
Go on, do you? Of course you can. Do what you like.
Let's have a little gander here. Get the old Garmin, backdate it. I normally have this thing kind of activities and just finding it on the.
I mean, 5,700 calories. You must have done miles more than that. That's probably what you've done when you've done the cycling.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Find it right here. Look, you can see it. Nothing else on that day. Just one big giant graph. So if I click on to that, Copenhagen multisport. God, your Wi-Fi shit in there, John.
Right.
Here we go.
We'll cut that bit out.
So the swim. So yeah, it's saying 12:08.
You done? That's just swimming, yeah.
No, I think that's what I mean. It didn't. I don't think it tracked it very well, but I kind of like went by like everything else. Yeah, it says what 3,800. It's like no chance.
That must be like a day of like 12,000 calories lost.
It's not that much, but it's definitely more than the 4,000 this is claiming. Yeah.
So what do you know? Like when you come in, we normally talk about the shit that goes in food that people are eating, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of the time we talk about conspiracies of what's going on. What do you reckon with the food is the biggest one that we were talking about the other day?
The biggest problem with food. So the biggest problem with food is it's now got ingredients in it. Whereas time before, it's just you're either eating the animal, cooking it up and boiling it and eating it. There was no additives, no preservatives. Then when we started trading food, they'd have to slap nitrates on meat and fish to preserve it.
To last them longer, yeah?
Yeah, which is, okay, that's okay. Nitrates are on bacon a lot. Right?
So nitrates are what in bacon or ham is injected with, yeah? To turn it to bacon. Is that right?
No. Nitrates is just a preservative. It's full of sodium, it's full of salt, but it's just synthetic amounts, and it's not like the good salt. It's not like rock salt.
Right.
It's like table salt. The cheapest of the cheapest of the cheapest.
So table salt no good for you?
Table salt's terrible for you.
Table salt's the bollocks though on chips, isn't it? I mean,
I don't have it.
I mean, it's
just been proven to like really jack up your blood pressure and heart rate, and really like it can block your arteries. So rock salt is different, but table salt.
Does it taste the same?
Rock salt is miles better.
Can you actually taste the difference?
Yeah, smooth.
Okay.
Put it in your water with a little bit of lemon. You can drink more water. You'll be hydrated for longer.
Right.
You can make your own electrolyte.
Okay.
Yeah, honey, lemon, salt.
So the nitrates go in the food.
Yeah, so that's fine. We don't mind that. We don't mind some nitrates. We don't mind preserving food. Got to be flown around the world. Then we now think about the other thing is like food. We're eating out of season.
Right.
So orange juice, for example, like vitamin C, that's like oranges in for winter. like you want that vitamin C kick. Now you can have oranges any month of the year in any place in the world. So now there's a forced production that needs to be made to be met.
So oranges we drink in the winter.
As in, yeah, like that's when they'd be harvested in like autumn.
Okay, right.
By the time you get them,
right,
right, they're ready for winter.
Okay, right, understand.
They grow in the sun,
right? Yeah.
And
you
then,
harvest them in the autumn. Okay, I understand. Right,
and then you'd be like, right, turn of the season.
Okay,
you need a massive injection of vitamin C. Here we go. But now you can have, orange juice in fucking April. Like you can have kiwis any day of the week.
Okay,
you can have cherries and blueberries and watermelon anytime, which is great. Like that is like that's choice. That's like capitalism kind of working. But companies and supermarkets and business and corporations have figured out that to meet this supply and demand, they're going to have to cut some corners to create production. And we're just talking about fruit for a second. So now you need to kind of make sure the soil is growing, like this one, like you can't put everything down the same soil, right? It'll just fuck it forever and it will take too long.
Right.
So now you've got to like spray weed killer so that you get enough harvests on your strawberries. So you've got to be like keep the bugs away, because as soon as you get like some, I don't know what insects they are, but if you don't use some of this weed killer, then you won't get much to harvest, and then you obviously it's going to eat into your profits. So the problem is that some of the sprays and Roundup and weed killer has got a chemical in it called glyphosate.
Ah, right, I've heard of this.
And so glyphosate is in something called Roundup. They use it around golf courses. It's a weed killer, and it stops a lot of bugs and insects kind of growing. But it's airborne, so it can be sprayed on this field, and the field next to it will get it. It will stay in the soil forever. So whenever you grow something else the next season, it's in that food as well. And the problem is it's not very good for us. I don't know all the specifics of the science, why it's not so good for us.
Roundup is American, yeah?
Yeah, but it's poisonous.
Is it is it outlawed in Europe?
I'm a bit hazy on what's
I was
going
listening
on in
to
the
a
EU.
podcast this morning with like things that are outlawed in Europe. There's like in Europe like 1,500 things of chemicals that are put or sprayed on foods and whatever has been outlawed. Canada 500, America 12.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even stuff that's sprayed. Some stuff that goes into flour and whatever. Yep. In America, there's like it's all just fair game. In England and Europe, in Europe more so, and then in I don't know Canada, I don't know where in Asia or whatever. This like they have been outlawed. Yeah,
you have to look into a company called Monsanto.
Are they the geezers?
They're just like the biggest shithouse company in the world.
They're the
if you like want like evil corporation empire, Monsanto is.
Are they the ones that so like you I say I would sell you Monsanto will sell you seeds, and you buy your seeds from Monsanto. If the seed blows into another field, Monsanto claim that as theirs as well.
I believe so. I've heard rumours of that for sure.
So what's the concrete evil doing from Monsanto?
Well, it's just the fact that they are not paying. Like they know it's a carcinogen. They know it causes various forms of cancer and illness, and they are not only are they allowing it to be like sprayed on crops because of the demand on farmers. Farmers are having to use this, but when it's on that soil, you can't get rid of it. And so now that almost farmer is tied to growing a certain crop.
Got ya.
But then not only that, there's obviously a huge, I think it's Hodgkin's lymphoma case. There's a huge libel case. And they know that it's causing it. Right? It's been scientifically proven. There's a huge libel case. But they want to put it through, all the courts and legals. They're delaying it. They don't want to pay out. But it's an evil thing. I mean, your brand or your product is causing illness, and you continually sell it and push it and entrap people to have to use it. I mean, it doesn't get much darker than that, bro.
No, it's proper fucking moody, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
and they also lobby, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, of course. That's how they do it. They lobby, politicians in power in the States to kind of keep it there, and they want to bring it into the EU. And I know that, you know, certain countries, you know, are sort of saying, yeah, it's not such a bad thing, and yada
Big
yada yada.
it's big in Asia, isn't it? In India, that
so.
there was a massive thing where the Indian government or something had done a deal with Monsanto or something, and then they were tied to it. The farmers were tied to it. The government was tied to it.
Yeah,
They're fucking mental.
Anything. That's the thing you're seeing more and more. The problem we've got today is land in itself is it's expensive now, it's scarce, and so we need enough farmland to produce enough quality food.
And ain't Bill Gates like buying up all the farmland in America?
Yeah, Bill Gates is a interesting situation. I don't know what he would call himself, a philanthropist. He's not a scientist. He's not a doctor.
No, but he seems to come up with all the suggestions that scientists and doctors would come up with, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's created Microsoft or whatever. We don't even know if he actually did it legitimately or he just ripped someone's program off and put his own title on it, whatever. But he's a very, very wealthy individual with a lot of power and influence. And his hands and, besides being in the Epstein files, like fact, that's not like conspiracy. That's like he's in there, like everywhere, arms around Jeffrey Epstein, emailing him, telling him he needs some drugs to basically get rid of his chlamydia. So he doesn't give it to his wife, so she finds out he's banging Russian prosies.
But what I don't understand is, why is all this done through emails? That's the fucking thing I can't fucking get my head around. Yeah. If I want something, I'm going to go and you say, listen, mate, can you want me out? Why does he do it over an email? Doesn't fucking make any sense, does it? I mean, it's not refuted, is it? It's not, he's like, fucking no, that's all bollocks, that's fabricated. Yeah. And he's like, what the fuck?
I think with that level of like power and arrogance, it just comes thinking like they're just untouchable.
Do you think, though, because it was the emails would have been via Microsoft, he was like, fucking hell, I'll just delete them. It won't be there. I mean, I'll be able to hide this as much as possible. I've never actually
entertained that. I just know that obviously there's a certain portion of the files that are completely sealed. I think 3% have been released, and that's millions of pages. So there's 97% of pages that haven't been released. And obviously now the World Cup's on, and like Anne Whittaker's been murdered, and
what the fuck is all that about?
I don't know, mate.
What is all that about? I mean, I've just seen that she's murdered. Then I see that someone was charged with it. Then I see he was released. Yeah. Is he the one who's been recharged?
I'm not sure.
The fucking hell,
mate. I don't know. But what I'm saying is there's oversaturation of news. Like our brains can only concentrate on one topic for so long before we just go, duh, and then the next thing comes out and it's sensationalized, and then we go round again.
And that's gone to the back of your head, and you're like, all right, that was covered up quite quickly.
Yeah.
Or there a war will start, or whatever. Some real shit's about to hit the fan. Let's start a war somewhere.
Perfect. Literally, like that war is literally the exact specific requirements of like, right, we're going to make some money out of this. We've got to make it worth our while. But the biggest benefactor of this whole situation is we won't be getting questions in mainstream press about we've been noncing kids and trafficking kids globally. That's what the Epstein files are about. It's a global paedophile network of higher-ups that have reached a level of power and wealth that they now look at everybody else as subservient, and basically look at everybody else, the common man, like, you don't fucking matter. You're a piece of shit to them. They can do whatever they want. And whatever it is, it's a satanic ritual, it's whatever they get into. There's probably, it's kind of like, they are...
What, do you reckon he was catering for all of it then?
No, I think he was an asset. I think he was a Israeli spy asset that basically, positioned himself, and you compromise people. Like, think about how trades get done, like global trades. You want something from Japan, you're like, well, mate, we'll sell it to you for this and that. Yeah. And he goes, no, that's not going to work for my people. And you're like, come to this party, like, just hang out, whatever, however it happens. The one thing you can't come back from, you can come back from murder. You can come back from adult rape. Mike Tyson. There's a few people where like they get cleared or whatever. You can't get back. You can't come back from noncing kids. That is the one thing that no one's got any time for, because the lowest of the low, because children are beautiful, innocent creatures that are our future, and that we want their innocence protected. And when that's destroyed, you not only create lifelong trauma in bloodlines, but you keep people suppressed, mentality poor,
So what
and ruin.
But how do you reckon he went in there though? Because it wouldn't have been. You're not gonna. It's gonna be it's gonna be very difficult to convince like a fucking head of a particular government or massive company. How would you? He ain't gonna go in there and say, look, yeah, like, I've got some kids over it. What has he got them? Got them to a party, and then they're having a party, and he's brought in some younger birds. What's that younger on the cusp?
I mean, they're all
and then
said, they're 16, 17, 18, aren't
right,
they?
Yeah, right.
They're entrapped.
Yeah,
they're vulnerable.
Yeah, but it gets darker than that shit, doesn't it? Because there's younger kids kicking around in that as well, isn't there? You know, how do they move one to another to another? It's a fucking
my mind
freak
can't
show, isn't it?
really comprehend it, to be honest. Like it's
bigger than what certainly what my head can envision that there couldn't possibly be a global cabal of these type of people all interacting with each other, but it seemed like there was.
Yeah.
so when people were talking about 25, 30 years ago of this actual thing happening, and everyone's like, don't be fucking stupid, this fucking mad. Like that, but like when you hear about these Bohemian Grove and fucking all these worshipping the Moloch or whatever it was, and you're like, yeah, that's all fucking granny, innit? And then all of a sudden something like this fucking comes out. How far away from the truth is any of that shit? Or is it all part of the truth and just a little bit comes out at a time? Because, you know, look, fight like maybe 10, 12 years ago, there was that Pizzagate shit. And you were like, that's fucking bollocks. And then all of a sudden they're fucking referring to each other and like, do you want to order a pepperoni and whatever?
Yeah.
You're like, fucking hell. Has all of this been fucking shown to you in your face the whole time? And you're like, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this stems from like, the reason sometimes this stuff doesn't get the traction and the stick that it actually deserves and needs is it's so layered and it's so indoctrinated in systems of hierarchy of power, financials, politicians, elites. You're talking people that like they don't have, there's no passport control. They just swan from party to boat to island.
You see
to,
that
to whatever sporting event they want to go to. If they want to literally, go to Afghanistan and shoot people for sport, they can do it. And so these people are moving at different levels.
They are. Like you see that the only person that's was ever allowed to come swanning in and out of like Buckingham Palace was like Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
It's like, no one's allowed to do that.
Yeah. You try going knocking on the door at Buckingham Palace, see what happens.
Well, I mean, how does it... well, there you go. That's right in your eyes, isn't it? That's there. That's people,
Yeah, it won't get the traction because it is like, there's pieces of this out there and people are trying to fix it all together. And obviously, we're just idiots with smartphones.
Yeah.
We don't really know what's going on. We don't know if it's all kind of distraction. We don't know if it's entertainment. We don't know if it's 100% factual, real, because we're seeing it with our own eyes, but people aren't believing. So we're kind of thinking we're just being gaslit. Like am I just a fucking lunatic?
Well,
like,
even when you are seeing it, and everyone else around you is like, nah.
Yeah.
But imagine that was like most people 5 years ago. Before you're like everyone's saying what's going on, then you're like that.
Yeah. But all I know is that with each crisis and with each thing that's happened, it's just massive amounts of transference of wealth happen. So all I know is things are getting much more expensive. I'm getting less freedom. There's more control. There's more laws. It's getting harder to operate and do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But now there's a bunch of cunts that have got more money than small countries and businesses, and they're just doing whatever they want. And you're like, hold on a second. What's going on here?
Well, that was COVID, wasn't it? That was like the biggest transfer of wealth in human history, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was over a cold. Well done, everybody. You got suckered in by a cold because you saw some moody videos of people collapsing next to people in hazmat suits. And then
on that first
people
day,
were worrying about it, thinking that like they couldn't breathe and they were going to just die and drop dead instantly, instead of listening to people that were like, look.
Do you remember the first like few weeks of COVID when like they were showing you pictures in China of someone walking down the street and then they just keel over.
Yeah.
They're like, oh.
All confirmed to be actors, by the way, now.
Yeah.
Like, literally crisis actors. Right? Like, wild.
And then the other one was, they were telling me, we won't get no stock in. And I'm like, why? They said, no, on the ships, people might have sneezed on it. People might have touched it. It's going to stay on. It stays on any surface. I'm like, how is it going to stay on a fucking cardboard box? No, it can. Up to 6 months. Like, how?
Yeah.
But how did that get into the news? How was that they're out there in the news?
I think
that's wild.
Across those years, something like $600 billion was spent on propaganda to get you to take a vaccine, of you not knowing what's in it. Now, I'm one of those fucking strong-willed, don't fuck with me, you're not entering my space people. So I resisted that immediately. I was never going to take that. People were saying you won't be able to travel, you won't be able to go here. I was like, fucking bring it. We'll. There'll be ways around it. You don't know how many people PTs know. We know fucking everybody. We know the CEOs, we know the janitors, we know the mid-level management, we got people in hospitality. We know everybody. So you just hear stuff. There were black market COVID vaccines going around within 8 days of them saying you're going to need to get this jab. So it was all farcical,
right.
And you just had to look at like who's taking the vaccines, like which countries are signing up for it. And it was the G7 countries. They were like, we're doing this. Well, the G7 are the richest countries in the world. So now you're just basically impoverished? Yeah, you're basically making your citizens pay for this vaccine that have been lobbied by private pharmaceutical companies. So it wasn't free. You're just going to pay us later.
Well, every part of it, like bounce back loans.
Exactly.
Whoever had the option to take a bounce back loan, they took a bounce back loan. Like, it weren't as if you weren't going to get the money back. It weren't given out. People paid them back. People were still paying them back. They weren't just like that. They've gone out, haven't they? Your rent, even if you got about, you still have to pay your rent. The landlord still got paid. Everyone got paid.
Yeah.
The only people who had no money coming in, that was you lot. That was everyone else.
That was us.
Yeah.
You're just sitting at home going, this is great. Oh, at least the weather's nice.
Yeah, it's fucking farcical, isn't it? How about that though? That month, that year, the weather, it was like the best weather ever from March to fucking August.
Yeah.
It didn't even have, there were only like a fucking thunderstorm. There was nothing. It was like perfect weather for like 5 months.
I know.
Bit wild, isn't it?
Bit of a coincidence, I'd say. Who knows?
Fucking wild that was.
But going back to COVID, what it did to people, this, you have to remember, a lot of people were on their phones every day. A lot of people were just like, they had a league table of death. Do you remember on the news every night how many people were dying? It was like a fucking ticker taper. Boris Johnson coming out on the podium telling you what's what. Yeah. But then the cracks begun to appear.
Yeah.
Where they're like, hospitality injuries worth like fucking X amount of money to to us, and all these people, all these MPs and the constituencies. They need to keep pubs and restaurants, and these people want to go out because they know it's a fucking, they know it's a joke. So they're going, well, maybe we could, get tents erected in beer gardens, and people can move around in there, but get them to wear masks and they can move around. And it started this daft game of like, when you get up from the table, you have to put your mask on. When you sit down, you can take it off to talk because you won't get COVID then. The bubble situation. The Perspex glasses in supermarkets when the cunt's just been touching the iPad and you're touching the iPad. Honestly, it was fucking wild. I didn't adhere to any of it. I'd go in Waitrose, I'd bowl past the queue, I'd have a security guard going, "Wait, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm buying my fucking food, mate. I'm not participating in this nonsense." And I'd go around, but no one would come after me because they didn't want to touch me. So it was just like,
so
great.
You could say what you like.
So literally I was just putting my steak and my eggs, and my watermelon, my butter, my honey, and my olive oil, and all the stuff that's really fucking good for you in my basket. And I was watching stupid fat people fill up their baskets with Diet Coke and ice cream and pizzas and frozen margaritas. And I'm thinking, we're not the same, bro. We're not the same. You need to be doing what I'm doing, but you're not. You're just, you got your eyes wide shut.
What about when they stop you going outside in the sun, in like about to walk around like the Peak District where no one else is, or going down to
Closing the beach.
Closing the beach.
Yeah. You see geezers paddleboard in Australia getting tackled by the police, and you're like, Jesus Christ, mate. It was all for show. It was all a facade of fear, and how much are you willing to take before you push back?
So is there another one or what? Another one on the way? Sooner rather than later.
I think they've tried a couple of times, haven't they? Hantavirus tried to sort of get a bit of press.
They keep on talking about the next one that's coming, don't they?
Yeah, didn't they? The Hantavirus tried to come around, and then I think there was some videos leaked of like a film crew behind the geezers with hazmats. They weren't in hazmat suits. They were just there, just with the mic filming it. Nothing happened. So everyone went like, well, that's got to be a bunch of bullshit, hasn't it?
Well, I don't know. The trouble is, do you think the British public would suffer it again? Because I do. I think they'll suffer it. I think there's that many morons out there who will eat it up. They love people. Yeah, people love it.
It's almost entertainment and drama for them.
Yeah, it's like fucking hell. Yeah, do you know what? I couldn't do anything today. I had to stay indoors. It was brilliant.
I mean, who doesn't want to do nothing?
but how long could you do nothing for? Do you not get bored after an afternoon of doing nothing?
Yeah, the types of people that ate up COVID, they're not my type of people. They loved giving out the orders. They loved telling people to put their mask on, keep their distance. They loved giving advice. And you have to understand, the only people that were actually, going to get this bad were people massively overweight with a pre-existing health condition, right? And just people that were like completely fatigued. So you had athletes that would get COVID and they would die. And you go, they were really fit. Like, what's happened there? If you're overtrained, you're immune suppressed. If you're immune suppressed, you don't need antibodies to fight a virus, right? So you are fucked. Like, you can get pneumonia. You can get a bad cold can spiral. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that happened a lot.
There was
but as soon as people started getting the COVID jab, what we noticed is people dropping like flies in the sporting world.
Yeah,
on football pitches, in football stadiums,
like you've never seen before.
And not all of them died, right? But they were like heart cardiac issues.
What's it? Myocarditis.
Yeah, it's like
that's what young fit athletes were getting.
Pericarditis and myocarditis. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the old people, like my old girl, if she got it, she'd be fucked because she had everything wrong with her. She could be wrong with her. So yeah, you'd have to fucking make sure that they were cordoned off. But
our bodies have a perfect immune system response to foreign invaders. Right? You have hair in your nose that filters out dirt and particles, so you can trap it in that mucus and snot, so you can sneeze it out later. You have hairs in your throat doing the same thing. You have antibodies everywhere, basically stopping it get into your chest cavity. Once it's in your chest cavity, it's a bit more serious now, but with some rest and some movement and some you can steam bath, you can take eucalyptus, you can take dandelion, you can take loads of things for it to improve that. You can breathe through your fucking nose and not your mouth. Breathing through your nose, in and out through your nose, in itself, you will live longer, you'll live better, you'll have better posture, you'll have lower blood pressure. It's incredible. But breathing...
Also,
panting like that, you're spiking your heart rate, you're in a fight or flight response, which is basically where you're super stressed and super alert, like you would be in a sporting environment or a life or death situation. But for disease, it thrives in fight or flight situation.
Right.
So nothing gets better once you're in a fight or flight state.
Right.
What creates it? Caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, stress, overexertion. So if you're constantly up here, your body won't ever heal itself. So you need calm, you need relaxation, you need sleep, you need nutrients, you need peace, right? And there's very little of that in the city of London.
No. Grief here, innit?
They took all the church bells out many years ago, which is a sound healing effect.
Really? They still are ones that run, aren't there?
There are, but...
Yeah,
there are, sound is one of the most healing properties for your body, like sound waves. Forget when it was, but a load of bells were ripped out because they were constantly on and
ringing everywhere
all the time.
You'll get a different one soon, won't you?
Yeah, maybe.
It won't be. It won't
sound like that.
It's not going to sound like it's not going to sound like the bells that we know.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, it's done now. That bit's over. Whether you took the jab or not, move on. You just kind of have to remember that what actually happened. We got a society that had more debt. We got a youth that kind of missed out on their period where they're a bit like, well, fucking hell, what do I do in my life? And, you know,
well, you got
like
fucking
offense.
You got nearly 3 years of not being able to do fucking much. Like if you was like 16 at that point, into 15, 16, you start going out with your mate,
university, whatever. Yeah,
that's gone. You missed 18 to 20, and did you go? Did you go to college at that point? Microphone.
I think it can make you feel a bit. I think you can feel a bit defeated because that's kind of the energy that it was. It was like, oh, it's too much control. I can't fight this. I just give up.
Yeah, you can easily crush people's spirits with that, can't you?
Yeah, and the human spirit is.
And that's what's happened to us, don't it? That's what's happened to the country. Your spirit's just being, and you're being more crushed by the minute, aren't you?
Yeah, because most people want a family. They want their kids to grow up in a safe, friendly environment. They want them to compete in a sport. They want to get them a job that pays them an honest wage. We don't all want speedboats and, you know, islands and, you know, go to the F1. We want like connection with our, you know, with our friends and families. We want barbecues when the weather's good. We want holiday a few times a year. We're not asking for lots.
That's going to stop, innit? Holidays a few times a year if they get their way.
If they get their way, yeah. I mean, the whole green initiative is...
Leave that to next week.
Yeah, that's mental.
We'll start on that next week.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have to do a bit of research on that because the stuff I've heard. My trouble is I listen to loads and I just can't recall it. So I'm going to look at. Let's talk about that next week.
Yeah.
I'm stifling you now. I'm putting you on hold till next week on that one. No, let's wrap this up.
We'll wrap that up.
Georgie, thank you very much.
Hopefully I don't get cancelled for this, but you know.
Fuck it, it'll be all right. You won't get cancelled here. You'll get cancelled everywhere else.
Everywhere else.